In Word Module 2, we will be creating a research paper using the MLA style format. Section 2-1 explains the differences between the MLA and the APA documentation style. Section 2-1A explains that in order to follow the MLA documentation style, we must use a 12-point Times New Roman or similar font. Double-space text on all pages of the paper using 1-inch top, bottom, left, and right margins. Indent the first word of each paragraph 1/2 inch from the left margin at the right margin of each page. Place a page number 1/2 inch from the top margin. On each page, precede the page number with your last name. The MLA documentation style does not require a title page. Instead, place your name and course information in a block at the left margin beginning 1 inch from the top of the page. Center the title 1 double-space line below your name and course information. We will want to go ahead and download your start file from Cengage for the Word Module 2 textbook project and open that file. While we have this page up, go ahead and copy the expected file name in Cengage and do a Save As to save your start file with the expected file name. You can just paste that into the file name text box, then click Save. Please remember to not include the .docx file extension in the text box of your file name. Now that we have our start file open and saved with the expected file name, read section WD 2-2B that explains that a style is a named collection of character and paragraph formats, including font, font size, font styles, font colors, and alignments that are stored together and can be applied to text or objects to format them quickly. We will modify Word's default style normal in section WD 2-2C to match the specified document settings for a MLA formatted document. With your renamed start file open in Word, look for the Styles Gallery on the Home tab in the Styles group and right-click Normal. Select Modify on the shortcut menu to display the Modify Style dialog box. Click the font arrow in the Modify Style dialog box to display the font list. Scroll to and then click Times New Roman in the list to change the font for the style being modified. Click the font size arrow and then click 12 in the font size list to change the font size for the style being modified. Ensure that the Only in this document option button is selected to save the changes to the style only for this one document. Click OK. Section 2-2D explains that line spacing is the amount of vertical space between lines of text in a paragraph, and that paragraph spacing is the space that appears directly above and below a paragraph or between lines of paragraph text. In a MLA formatted document, we must use double-spaced paragraphs, which places one blank line between each line of text in a paragraph, and one blank line above and below a paragraph. In section 2-2E, we will change the line spacing of our document. Paragraph spacing is the space, which is measured in points, that appears directly above and below a paragraph or between lines of paragraph text. Click 2.0 in the Line and Paragraph Spacing Gallery to change the line spacing at the location of the insertion point. To remove the additional blank spaces after each paragraph, follow the steps in section WD 2-2F. Click the Line and Paragraph Spacing button on the Home tab in the Paragraph group to display the Line and Paragraph Spacing Gallery. Click Remove Space After Paragraph in the Line and Paragraph Spacing Gallery so that no blank space appears after paragraphs. Note that we just updated the line spacing using the tools on the ribbon and not by modifying the style normal. To set these settings to what we need them to be. We can, however, as Section 2-2G explains, update a style to include these settings. To do so, right-click Normal in the Styles gallery to display a shortcut menu and click Update Normal to match selection on the shortcut menu to update the current style to reflect the settings. In Section WD 2-3, a header is text, information, pictures, or other objects that print in an area above the top margin on one or more pages in a document. Similarly, a footer is text, information, pictures, or other objects that print in an area below the bottom margin on one or more pages in a document. Unless otherwise specified in Word, headers print 1/2 inch from the top of every page, and footers print 1/2 inch from the bottom of each page, which meets the MLA documentation style. In addition to text, pictures, and objects, headers and footers can include document information such as page numbers, current date, current time, and the author's name. In Section WD 2-3A through Section WD 2-3E, we will insert a header in our document, then enter and format text within the header. With your Start file open, click Insert on the ribbon to display the Insert tab. Click the Header button located on the Insert tab in the Header and Footer group to display the header gallery. Click Blank in the Header gallery to switch from the document text to the header and insert placeholder text in the header. Click Home on the ribbon to display the Home tab. Click the Align Right button to right-align the current paragraph. With the Type Here placeholder text selected, type Yazzie and then press the space bar to enter the last name in the header. Click back on the Header and Footer on the ribbon to display the Header and Footer tab again. Click the Page Number button to display the Page Number menu. Click the plain number in the Current Position gallery to insert an unformatted page number at the location of the insertion point. To close the header, click the Close Header and Footer button on the Header and Footer tab in the Close group to close the header and switch back to the document text. Read Section WD 2-4 to learn what you should consider when writing the first draft of your research paper, and meet me back for Section WD 2-4A, where we will begin to enter text into our document. Section WD 2-4A begins by instructing us to enter text. We will enter a name and course information into our document. With the insertion point positioned, type Nina Yazzie as the student name and then press Enter. Type the instructor's name and press Enter. Then type English 101 as the course name and then press Enter. We will now enter the date, type October 6th, 2021 as the paper's due date, and then press Enter. I encourage you, as we complete the steps in the textbook, to follow along to make sure that you get the right spellings for the text that need to be entered in each step. WD 2-4B explains that Click and Type allows us to double-click a blank area of the document, and Word will automatically format the item you type or insert based on the location where you double-clicked. Let's try this out. Move the pointer around the document below the entered name and course information and observe the various icons that appear with the I-beam. Double-click to center the paragraph mark and insertion point between the left and right margins. Type Health Concerns of Using Technology as the paper title, then press Enter to position the insertion point on the next line. Make sure to save your changes after each step. For all the formatting functions that are available on the Word ribbon, there are also keyboard shortcuts you can use to access them. Read section WD 2-4C to discover the different keyboard shortcuts available in Word, and we will practice using keyboard shortcuts in section 2-4D. With your insertion point in the next line under our title, press Ctrl-L on your keyboard to set left alignment. Next, in section 2-4E, we will display the rulers in Word so we can see in the application how much space there is in our margins, tabs, and other elements. There are two types of rulers in Word. The horizontal ruler is a ruler that appears below the ribbon in the document window in Print Layout and other views. Word also provides a vertical ruler that appears along the left edge of the document window in Print Layout view. We will follow the steps to ensure that our rulers are showing. Click View on the ribbon to display the View tab. If the rulers are not displayed, click the ruler checkbox in the View tab in the Show group to place a check mark in the checkbox and display the horizontal and vertical rulers on the screen. WD 2-4F explains that we can create a first line indent using the top triangle on the ruler. This will make all of our first paragraph lines indented to the measurement we select. With the insertion point on the paragraph mark below the research paper title, point to the first line indent marker on the ruler. Drag the first line indent marker to the 0.5 inch mark on the ruler to display a vertical dotted line in the document window, which indicates the proposed indent location of the first line of the paragraph. Release the mouse button to place the first line indent marker at the 0.5 inch mark on the ruler, or 1/2 inch from the left margin. In step 4 in section WD 2-4F, it instructs us to type text. You can type or copy and paste as plain text in your document. You can choose what is best for you. I will copy and right-click and paste as plain text. As we type, or after we paste, notice the indent of the first line of our paragraph matches what we selected in our first line indent marker on the ruler. Section WD 2-4G describes what autocorrect is and how it can be used. With your insertion point at the end of the last sentence we typed or copied, press the space bar. Then type the beginning of the next sentence, misspelling the. When we press the space bar after the misspelling, Word automatically corrects the misspelled word. Type the rest of the sentence, rise for users of technology. Sometimes we don't want Word to correct something it perceives as an error. Autocorrect has an options button that we can use to display a menu that allows us to undo a correction or change how Word handles future automatic corrections of this type. Position the pointer in the text automatically corrected by Word to display a small blue box. Point to the small blue box to display the autocorrect options button. Click the autocorrect options button to display the autocorrect options menu. There isn't anything here we want to do yet, so to get rid of the options menu, hit the escape key on your keyboard. In addition to the predefined list of autocorrect spelling, capitalization, and grammar errors, you can create your own autocorrect entries to add to the list. For example, if you tend to mistype the word computer and spell it COUMPTUER, you should create an autocorrect entry for it. Section WD 2-4I describes how to do this. Click File on the ribbon. Click Options in the Backstage view to display the Word Options dialog box. Click Proofing in the left pane to display the proofing options in the right pane. Click the Autocorrect Options button in the right pane to display the Autocorrect dialog box. When Word displays the Autocorrect dialog box, type the misspelled computer in the Replace text box. Press Tab and then type computer spelled correctly in the With text box. Click the Add button to add the entry alphabetically to the list of words to correct automatically as you type. If your dialog box displays a Replace button instead, click it, then click the Yes button in the Microsoft Word dialog box to replace the previously defined entry. Click OK to close the dialog box. Click OK to close the Word Options dialog box. You can also use the Autocorrect dialog box to create entries for abbreviations, codes, and additional helpful items that you may need as you type your research paper. Read Section 2-4J for more information on items that you can create. In Section WD 2-4K, we will enter our second paragraph. Again, you can type the text or copy and paste as plain text. I will again copy and then paste my text as plain text. Section 2-4L gives us a small explanation about citations and tells us that both APA and MLA guidelines suggest the use of an M. It also explains that Word provides tools to assist us with inserting citations in a paper. In Section 2-4M and 2-4N, we will follow the steps to change the bibliography style and insert a citation for a new source. We will continue through 2-4O and enter more text in our document. To change the bibliography style, click References on the ribbon to display the References tab. Click the Style arrow on the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the Style Gallery, which lists predefined documentation styles. Click MLA 7th edition in the Style Gallery to change the documentation style to MLA. To insert a citation for a new source, be sure your insertion point is at the end of the last sentence we typed or copied, the sentence ending in fingers. Click the Insert Citation button on the Reference tab in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the Insert Citation menu. Click Add New Source on the Insert Citation menu to display the Create Source dialog box. If necessary, click the Type of Source arrow and then click Article in a periodical so that the list shows fields required for a magazine. Click the Author text box and type the author's name. Click the Title text box and type Technology Aches and Pains as the article title. Press Tab and then type Monthly Medical and Review as the periodical title. Press Tab and then type 2021 as the year, then press Tab and then type July as the month. Press Tab twice and then enter NPAG period as the number of pages. Press Tab, then type Web as the medium. Be sure to look in your textbook to be sure you format this information as it should be. Remember that Cengage rule count it wrong if any of this is misspelled or mistyped. Place a check mark in the Show All Bibliography Fields checkbox so that the Word displays all fields available for the selected source, including the date viewed. If necessary, scroll to the bottom of the Bibliography Fields list to display the date viewed. Click the Year Access text box and type 2021 as the year. Press Tab and then type the abbreviation of October for the month. Press Tab and then type 1 as the day accessed. Click OK to close the dialog box, create the source, and insert the citation in the document at the location of the insertion point. Press the End key on your keyboard to move the insertion point to the end of the line, if necessary, which also deselects the citation. Press the period key to end the sentence. In section WD 2-40, we will enter more text in our document. Press the space key and type or copy and paste the text. Save your changes. Continuing to WD 2-4P, the textbook discusses footnotes, which are located at the bottom of the page on which a note reference mark appears and provides additional information. Read section WD 2-4P to learn more about footnotes and endnotes. We will insert a footnote in section WD 2-4Q. With the insertion point placed after the period in the last sentence ending in injuries, click the Insert Footnote button on the References tab in the Footnotes group to display a note reference mark. This is a superscripted number 1. This reference mark will display in 2 places. The first place is in the document window at the location of the insertion point, and the second is at the bottom of the page where the footnote text will be positioned, just below a separator line. Type or copy and paste the footnote text up to the citation, and then press the space bar. Next, in section WD 2-4R, we will insert a citation placeholder. With the insertion point positioned after the word untreated in the footnote, click the Citation button on the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the Insert Citations menu. Click Add New Placeholder on the Insert Citation menu to display the placeholder name dialog box. Type Clark as the tag name for the source. Section WD 2-4S explains that when we insert a footnote, Word formats the text using the footnote text style, which does not meet the MLA document style. So in section WD 2-4T, we will update the footnote text style to meet those MLA guidelines. Right-click the note text in the footnote to display a shortcut menu related to footnotes. Click Style on the shortcut menu to display the Style dialog box. If necessary, click the category arrow, click All Styles in the category list, then click Footnote text in the Styles list to select the style to modify. Click the Modify button to display the Modify Styles dialog box. Click the Font Size arrow to display the font size list, and then click 12 in the font size list to change the font size. Click the double space button to change the line spacing. Click the Format button to display the Format menu. Click Paragraph on the Format menu to display the Paragraph dialog box. Click the special arrow in the indentation area, and then click First Line. Click OK to close the Paragraph dialog box, then OK to close the Modify Style dialog box. Then click Apply to apply the style changes to the footnote text to the Style dialog box. Once we create a source, we may need to edit that source. Section WD 2-4U explains how to do that. Click somewhere in the citation placeholder to be edited, in this case Clark, to select the citation placeholder. Click the Citation Options arrow to display the Citations Options menu. Click Edit Source on the Citations Options menu to display the Edit Source dialog box. If necessary, click the Type of Source arrow and then click Book so that the list shows fields required for a book. Because this source has 2 authors, click the Edit button to display the Edit Name dialog box, which assists you in entering multiple author names. Type Clark as the first author's last name, then press the Tab button, then type Addison as the first name. Press Tab again and then type Lee as his middle name. Click the Add button to add the first author name to the names list. Now we will type Nadir as the second author's last name, Press the tab and then type Aisha as the first name. Press tab, then type Sadie as the middle name. Again, make sure to do this step with your textbook page open so you can see how these names are spelled. Click the Add button to add the second author's name to the names list. Click OK to add the author's names that appear in the names list to the authors box in the Edit Source dialog box. Click the title box, type Repetitive Strain Injuries as the book title. Press Tab and type 2021 for the year. Then type Boston as the city, Lighthouse Publishing as the publisher, and print as the medium. Click OK to close the dialog box, create the source, and update the citation to display both authors' last names. In section WD 2-4V, we will edit the citation we have added to our footnote to match the MLA guidelines. With the insertion point somewhere in the citation we are editing, which is the Clark and Nadir, this will select the citation and display the citation options arrow. Click the Citations Options arrow to display the Citation Options menu. Click Edit Citation on the Citations Options menu to display the Edit Citation dialog box. Type 65-66 in the Pages text box. Click the Author checkbox to place a check mark in it. Click the Title checkbox to place a check mark. Click OK to close the dialog box, and this will remove the author names from the citation in the footnote, suppress the title from showing, and add pages to the citation. Press N to move the insertion point to the end of the line, which will also deselect the citation. Please read section WD 2-4W to learn more about footnotes and endnotes, and continue through section WD 2-4X, entering more text in the document. Meet me back for section WD 2-4Y. You may have experienced assignments that require you to write so many words in a paper or discussion forum. Word can count words to help you meet any requirements that you may have for an assignment. The research paper we're working on has a 275-word requirement, but we are not sure if the words in our footnote are included in the 231-word count. We will open the word count dialog box in section WD 2-4Y to determine what words are being counted in our paper. Click the word count indicator on the status bar to display the word count dialog box. If necessary, place a check mark in the include text boxes, footnotes, and endnotes. Click the Close button to close the dialog box. In section 2-4Z, the text discusses automatic page breaks. Word automatically inserts page breaks at the bottom of a page called automatic page breaks or soft page breaks when it determines the text has filled one page according to paper size, margin settings, line spaces, and other settings. In section WD 2-4AA, we will be entering more text with the insertion point positioned at the end of the third sentence in the third paragraph. Press the space bar and type or copy and paste the text in step 2. Click the Insert Citation button to display the Insert Citation menu. Click Add New Placeholder on the Insert Citation menu to display the placeholder name dialog box. Type Sanchez as the tag name for the source. Click OK to close the dialog box and insert the tag name in the citation placeholder. Press the period key to end the sentence. With the page break and header, it is difficult to see the entire third paragraph at once on the screen. With the screen in print layout view, we can hide white space. Position the pointer in the document window in the space between the pages so that the pointer changes to a Hide White Space button. Double-click while the pointer is in Hide White Space button to hide white space. If necessary, scroll so that both pages appear in the document window at once. Position the pointer in the document window on the page break between pages so that the pointer changes to a Show Whitespace button. Double-click while the pointer is in a Show Whitespace button to show the whitespace. In section WD2-4AC, we will edit the source of the citation placeholder we just added. Click somewhere in the citation placeholder to be edited, in this case Sanchez, to select the citation. Click the Citation Options arrow to display the Citations Options menu. Click Edit Source on the Citation Options menu to display the Edit Source dialog box. If necessary, click the Type of Source arrow, scroll to and then click Website so that the list shows fields required for a website. Click the Author text box and type the author's name there. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. Click the name of the web page, text box and type technology and your hearing as the web page name. Click the year accessed text box and type 2021 for the year accessed, the abbreviation for October as the month accessed, 1 as the day accessed, and the web as the medium. Click OK to close the dialog box and create the source. We will enter more text in section 2-4AD and continue through sections WD2-5 through section WD2-5D. Starting in section WD2-5, it explains what a works cited page is. According to the MLA documentation style, the works cited page is a page in a research paper that alphabetically lists sources that are referenced directly in the paper. You must place the list on a separate numbered page with the title, Works Cited, centered 1 inch from the top margin. The works are to be alphabeticalized by the author's last name, or if the work has no author, by the work's title. The first line of each entry begins at the left margin. Indent subsequent lines of the same entry 1/2 inch from the left margin. Read the Consider This section on this page to learn the differences between a works cited page and a bibliography. In section WD2-5A, we will insert a manual page break to have a blank page to insert our works cited. A manual page break, or a hard page break, is a page break that you force into a document at a specific location so that the text following the break begins at the top of the next page, whether or not the previous page is full. Verify that the insertion point is positioned at the end of the text of the research paper. Click the Insert on the ribbon to display the Insert tab. Click the Page Break button on the Insert tab in the Pages group to insert a manual page break immediately to the left of the insertion point and position the insertion point immediately below the manual page break. In section WD2-5B, we will apply style to our works cited page to ensure it meets the MLA standards. Click the Home button on the ribbon to display the Home tab. With the insertion point on the paragraph mark at the top of page 3, click Normal in the Styles gallery to apply the normal style to the paragraph containing the insertion point. Next, in section WD2-5C, we will center the paragraph mark so our text works cited will be centered when we type it. We will use a keyboard shortcut to do this. Press Ctrl-E on your keyboard to center the paragraph mark. Type Works Cited as the title. We now need to left align the paragraph mark for our entries. Press Enter after you type the Works Cited title. Press Ctrl-L to left align the paragraph mark. In section WD2-5D, we will create a bibliographical reference list. As we created the research paper, we created several citations and their sources. Word can create a bibliographical list with each element of the source placed in its correct position with proper punctuation according to the specified style, saving us time looking up guidelines. Click References on the ribbon to display the References tab. With the insertion point positioned under the Works Cited title, click the Bibliography button on the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the bibliography gallery. Click Insert Bibliography to insert a list of sources at the location of the insertion point. Notice the first line of each source entry hangs to the left of the rest of the paragraph. This type of paragraph formatting is called a hanging indent because the first line of the paragraph begins at the left margin and subsequent lines in the same paragraph are indented from the left margin. The bibliography style in Word automatically formats the works cited paragraphs with a hanging indent. However, if you ever needed, you could format your own hanging indents using the techniques at the bottom of section WD 2-5D. Now that we have completed our research paper, it is time to proofread and revise it. Read section WD 2-6 to learn ways to assist you in this process. In the next few sections, we will be editing parts of our research paper. First, in section WD 2-6A, we will edit a source using the Source Manager dialog box. Click the Manage Sources button on the References tab in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the Source Manager dialog box. Click the source you wish to edit in the current list. In this case, it's the article by Zio, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name, to select the source. Click the Edit button to display the Edit Source dialog box. In the periodical title text box, delete the word "and" from the title. Click OK to close the dialog box. If a Microsoft Word dialog box appears, click Yes to update all occurrences of the source. Click the Close button to update the list of sources and close the dialog box. Now we will need to update a field in the bibliography because sometimes these do not automatically update to reflect the changes made in the sources. Section WD 2-6B describes how to do this. Right-click anywhere in the bibliography text to display a shortcut menu related to fields. Click Update Field in the shortcut menu to update the selected field. Section WD 2-6C through WD 2-6E describes how we can use the navigation pane in Word to find information in our document. The navigation pane is a window that enables you to browse through headings and pages or search for text. Click View on the ribbon to display the View tab. Place a check mark in the navigation pane checkbox to open the navigation pane on the left side of the Word window. If necessary, click the Pages tab in the navigation pane to display thumbnails of the pages in the document. Scroll to, if necessary, and then click the thumbnail of the first page in the navigation pane to display the top of the selected page in the top of the document window. Click the Close button in the navigation pane to close the pane. Position the insertion point at the location for the citation at the end of the fifth sentence in the second paragraph before the period. Click the References on the ribbon to display the References tab. Click the Insert Citation button in the Citations and Bibliography group to display the Insert Citation menu. Click the first source listed on the Insertion Citation menu to insert a citation for the existing source at the location of the insertion point. You can move citations around in your paper if you place it in the wrong location, like we just did. Section WD 2-6F describes the process. Click somewhere in the citation to be moved and select it. Position the pointer on the Citation tab until the pointer changes to a left-pointing block arrow. Drag the Citation tab which changes to an insertion point as you drag it to the location where the selected citation is to be moved. When you release the mouse button, the citation moves to the location of the dragged insertion point. Click outside the citation to deselect it. If necessary, delete the extra space to the left of the moved citation. There may often be times when we need to replace the occurrence of a word throughout the document. Sections WD 2-6G through WD 2-6H shows us how to find then replace text in a document. Click Home on the ribbon to display the Home tab. Click the Find button in the Editing group to open the navigation pane. If necessary, click the Results tab in the navigation pane, which displays a search box where you can type text for which you want to search. Type auditory in the navigation pane search box to display all occurrences and to highlight the occurrences of the search text in the document window. Next, to replace the text, click the Replace button on the Home tab in the Editing group to display the Replace sheet in the Find and Replace dialog box. If necessary, type auditory in the Find What, type listening in the Replace With box. Click the Replace All button to instruct Word to replace all occurrences of the Find What text with the Replace With text. If Word displays a dialog box asking if you want to continue searching from the beginning of the document, click Yes. Click OK to close the Microsoft Word dialog box. Click the Close button to close the Find and Replace dialog box. Read section WD 2-6I to learn more about using the Find and Replace dialog box. In section WD 2-6J, we will use the thesaurus to find a synonym for the word continual in the second paragraph of our research paper. Scroll to display the second paragraph of the paper in the document window. Right-click the second occurrence of the word continual to display a shortcut menu. Point to synonyms on the shortcut menu to display a list of synonyms. Click Frequent to replace the selected word in the document with the selected synonym. Next, in section WD 2-6K, we will check the spelling and grammar of our document. Press Control Home on your keyboard to check spelling and grammar from the top of the document. Click Review on the ribbon to display the Review tab. Click the Editor button in the Proofing group to begin the spelling and grammar check at the location of the insertion point. When Word identifies a potential spelling error, it opens the Editor pane with categories of suggestions. Click Spelling in the Corrections list to display selections for the flagged text. Because the first occurrence of the flagged text is a proper noun, click Ignore All in the Editor pane to ignore this and future occurrences of the flagged proper noun, and then continue the spelling and grammar check until the next potential error is identified. In this case, Word identifies the potential misspelled word hearing. Click the arrow to the right of the desired suggestion to display a suggestion menu. Click Change All on the suggestion menu to change the flagged word and any other exact misspellings of this word to the selected suggestion. Then continue the spelling and grammar check until the next error is identified or the end of the document is reached. Please finish reading section 2-6 to learn about the main and custom dictionaries and how to view or modify entries. Also, please be sure to read section 2-7, which discusses comments and how they can be used to collaborate with others in a document.